Today is a day to be thankful and to be inspired.
Each of us has our own story, our own journey, and moving forward, our own new opportunities.
We may be graduating from different programs, but we all have so much in common as VIU graduates.
We've been through the good and the bad, the laughs and the tears, but I couldn't feel prouder for all of us being here today.
Remember, all things are possible for those who believe.
Step up to the next challenge in your life with confidence. Know that you are responsible for your own happiness. Know that you are capable of designing your life to be anything you want it to be.
University is a wild ride of adventures and memories that I'm sure many of us will never forget.
We are prepared to move forward and to take on whatever obstacles come next in our lives.
This school is about all of you. It's about me. It's about being more than just a number. It's about being a person with dreams and goals.
To achieve anything requires faith and belief in yourself.
If you haven't given yourself credit already, take a second to thank yourself.
Because this isn't luck, graduates. You chose this life. You created this for yourself. You did it. You dreamed it, and you had the guts to go for it.
But at the end of the day, we're all here together, regardless of what path you took.
The friendships that we have made here are truly significant.
We are nothing but a collection of pieces of the people who believed in us.
Did I have the most amazing time of my life because of the diverse group I got to be a part of? Again, and more emphatically, yes.
Throughout the good and the bad, the celebrations and the disappointments, you always mattered here.
At Vancouver Island University, we have received a unique, evolving, and distinguished education.
Let's continue to be curious.
Let's be rebellious and independent.
Let's be ambitious in the best sense of the word and strive to improve our communities and the world we live in.
Be the person that you needed when you were younger and invest in the future.
This isn't farewell, but welcome. Welcome the future as the journey begins and you move forward to new adventures with respect, dignity, courage, and excellence.
Now we close this chapter and start writing a new one. I would like all of you to go boldly into the world because the world needs who we were all made to be. And I'm incredibly proud to tell everyone that I am a graduate of VIU. Please always remember that you are amazing and don't let anybody ever tell you differently. Congratulations, graduates.
I guess we could write you a song and tell you about your biggest dreams, but only you know what you need to figure it out. So as you move on, trust your heart and be yourself. Your day ones know what I'm talking about. Forget your doubts. Now the time has come for you to cross the stage. The world is yours, so don't downplay what you know. There's always room to grow.
Please be seated, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Fred Jacklin. I'm the registrar at Vancouver Island University. I'm very pleased and honored to be acting as your Master of Ceremonies today. I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Nanaimo First Nation, and so we raise our hands and say Haishka to the original stewards, Nanaimo. We are grateful to live, study, learn, and play in this beautiful landscape. I'd like to invite Amy Manson, a counselor of the Nanaimo First Nation, to please welcome us to their territory. And after this welcome, our VIU elders in residence will offer a song of celebration, and it will be appropriate and respectful for us to stand when the elders begin their song.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not an elder, so you don't have to stand. That's kind of funny, no? So my name is Emmy Manson. My traditional name is Slitana, and I come here on behalf of my chief and council. I sit as an elected leader for my community, and just really want to thank the graduation class and the VIU for always honoring Nanaimo, and as this is a place of my ancestors, and really honored to hear the song and to bring our ancestors into this room, because we're really honored to have this partnership with VIU as Nanaimo people, and really want to put my hands up to the grads. You guys came to Nanaimo and to learn, and I hope that you go into your future leaning into your fear, but also go into your work, into your passion with your heart. And I hope that to see you guys do big things in your life, and that maybe you'll work here in Nanaimo and you'll get to interact with some of my people. But just really want to thank you guys and thank the family for supporting all the graduates. It's really hard work what they did, but it's also hard work for the families to support the students do what they do in school. So thank you, Haichka.
Thank you so much for that welcome and that blessing, Haishka. Now everyone, please stand and join Tegan Couch in the singing of O Canada. Chancellor Mandel, President and Vice Chancellor Saucier, distinguished platform party guests, faculty, families and friends, and of course today's most special group, our graduates. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to our convocation ceremony. I'd also like not to forget and welcome those of you who are viewing this ceremony via Facebook Live. Wherever you are, we're pleased you're joining us. Now, we have gathered today at this beautiful Port Theatre in beautiful Nanaimo, British Columbia, to celebrate the achievements of the January 2020 graduating class from the Faculty of Management. And before we go any further, I'd like to introduce you all to the members of the Chancellor's procession. And I ask that you please stand as your name is called. Our Chancellor, Louise Mandel. President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Deborah Saucier. Our Board Chair, Manly McLaughlin. Our Interim Provost and Vice President Academic, Dr. Carol Stewart. And our Associate Vice President, Student Affairs, Erlanda Price. That's a start. We welcome Acting Mayor Dawn Bonner from the City of Nanaimo to our ceremony today. Now, VIU is proud of our strength as a teaching university and of the quality of the education we offer. And we're pleased to have on stage today many of our instructors, some of whom are acting as convocation marshals. Also on our stage, we have members of our Senate, Board of Governors, Foundation Board, President's Council, and Provost Council. And I ask, will you please all stand and be properly recognized? Now, I'd like to draw your attention to some important pieces that you will see on stage with our graduates that help us celebrate our traditions, our history, and our important connection to First Nations communities. Each of these pieces is rich in symbolism and has become an important part of our convocation. When they're not here at the Port Theatre, these pieces can be viewed at the Nanaimo campus in the Welcome Center. First, we have the two carved chairs where the Chancellor and President are currently seated, and the bent corner box, which is right next to me, is known as Papaquanum. Now, these pieces, which are collectively known as the Convocation Suite, were made out of the wood of a fallen ancient cedar tree found in the forests of northern Vancouver Island, and they were crafted by renowned artist Arthur Vickers. The Convocation Suite was gifted to the university by Coast Capital Savings in 2015. Now, interestingly, the texture from the inside of the bent corner box is replicated on the cover of today's program. So if you feel that, that's what the inside of the bent corner box feels like. And as you will see later, the lid of the bent corner box will play an important part in this ceremony. At center stage there, you see the paddle, the steering paddle, which was carried in the procession by President Saucier. This paddle was gifted to the university by Chief Sean Atenchet Atleo when he was installed as VIU's first chancellor in 2008, with the wish that it be used at special occasions such as this one. And finally, I bring to your attention the mace, also at center stage next to the paddle. Historically, a mace was a medieval weapon, but we use this one merely to symbolically protect our scholars. And at Vancouver Island University, carrying the mace is an honor granted to a retired or retiring member of our community in recognition of outstanding service. And this afternoon, this honor has been bestowed upon retired Associate Vice President Academic and former Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, Dr. Steve Lane. Thank you, and now I invite our Chancellor Mandel to please officially open today's convocation ceremony.
Thank you. It's my great honor to declare this convocation of Vancouver Island University duly convened. With respect and love, I too acknowledge that we're on Nanaimo territory. Haishka for the welcome and the prayer song. Graduates, welcome to this moment. Here you sit in your beautiful shoes, your cap and your gowns. Yesterday you were a student, tomorrow begins your journey into the future. A graduate gratitude moment. Thank you for choosing VIU. Never discount how much joy you have brought today by your great academic achievement. Every accomplishment in this room takes care of our collective spirit. And great gratitude to the whole VIU community across campus, faculty, staff, governors, partners who've been cheering you on to this moment, supporting your success. Your exceptional learning experience comes from committed faculty who have acquired an aptitude for doing what they love, excelling in their fields, building knowledge and resilience in you to follow the call of your gifts. Thank you all, friends and family. Thank you for sharing your grad with us. I'm so honored to speak here, to spend time with you today. You, the 2020 graduating class. Well, actually, hindsight is 2020. And we can see an interconnected world coming at us from behind. The principal challenges of the future, how fragile our world systems are. Climate change, if we don't stop it, it'll stop us. A new era of collaboration is required. The pursuit of truth, of survival, is a global one. The responsibility for forging this network doesn't fall just to governments, it falls to each one of us. Poet Muriel Rickerser said, "The universe is made of stories, not of atoms. Key to the work of changing our world is changing our story." One radically changed story we're experiencing is reconciliation. Indigenous people who had been habituated to silence by racism and compromised justice, brave people came forward and told their stories, voices cracking. It wasn't data that persuaded, but storytelling that led to the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, to the Truth and Reconciliation calls to action, to the murdered and missing women and girls calls to justice, to the court shifting the legal paradigm, making space for the resurgence of Indigenous laws on a landscape where they had been deliberately erased. Through the lens of Indigenous laws, we get a glimpse of the earth as a being with a soul that suffers, that inhales and exhales. Indigenous laws derive from ancient knowledge, observing the earth as a textbook where all of life's forces are intertwined in a web of interdependence, with humans carrying out the responsibility to look after the earth. We are together catalyzing a new kind of consciousness, shifting to see our interdependence. How skillfully we are in relation has become a strategic asset of our survival. There is something buoyant pressing up. It's insisting on existence, like the birth of a poem or the erupting of a small volcano. We're experiencing an upwelling of the future in the present. Education, like love, changes us. VIU is a values-based university. We value human rights. Human rights at their core are about inclusion and about honoring the dignity and uniqueness of others, demanding the best of us while honoring the rights of others, valuing diversity. Values give us courage and wisdom to act, to speak out, to live in purpose. You know, if you take only one thing away from your education here, a tool to fix from the most practical to the most mysterious, it is this. It's an awareness that's been cultivated here. Being willing to know that we do not know as a starting point in our relationships. You've attended class with students from every continent. You have an indigenized education. You've been taught the importance of listening to other perspectives. We grow by remaining open and vulnerable to what's new and different. The best thing we can do is just listen. Now, I'm a lawyer, I'm trained in an adversarial profession, and I've gained something of incredible value at VIU, something sacred. I jumped aboard humility, and I listened differently, entering an argument not for the purposes of proving how smart you are, but to explore. Not convinced you know it all, that you're right, but to use your opinion to start discussion, not to end it. Instead of needing to win, the need is to hear and be heard. I hear you say, tell me more, both and rather than either or. Providing an alternative is different than winning a fight, relying less on force and power and more on loving and kindness. In love, my gain is your gain. In power, my gain is your loss. Kindness is not competitive, it wants nothing. As we widen our narrow field of vision to incorporate the story of others, feelings of empathy overcome ignorance, and we want to give and support. We're transformed. Desmond Tutu said this beautifully. He said, my humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together. The greatest creative challenge of your life is giving shape to the story you began here. You have choice. You can choose what you put in your mind. You can choose your own meaning. In any and every moment, you can choose hope, compassion, humor, intuition, curiosity. Choice by choice, your story grows organically. There are infinitely many kinds of beautiful lives. To tell your truth is to become beautiful. Love yourself, value yourself, and that is political in the most profound way. Sufi poet Hafiz, God said, I am made whole by your life. Each soul completes me. Then the world will change, the vessel within which we are presently housed will crack, and something new will emerge. So graduates, I'd like you to take your right hand and cross your chest and put it on your left shoulder. Now give yourself a pat in the back. Know in your hearts how truly great you really are. Family and friends, when your grad comes on stage, make a racket with all that joy. Victory dances are encouraged. Haishka.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a rich and long-standing tradition that universities administer an oath to all candidates for graduation. Chancellor Mandel, the Vancouver Island University Senate and faculties have assured me that all candidates to be presented today and those who are absent have indeed fulfilled the requirements for graduation, so please administer now the candidate graduate oath.
Okay, so will all candidates for graduation please rise? Candidates, will you accept your credentials with its inherent rights and privileges and the responsibility and loyalty it implies? As Chancellor of Vancouver Island University, I now invite you to move the tassel on your cap from the right to the left, signifying admission into the Order of Scholars. Perfect. Will the members of the graduating class now please be seated?
The members of the graduating class will now be introduced individually to Chancellor Mandel and President Saucier by Dr. Carol Stewart. As you will see, the lid to the bent corner box will still be opened and the parchments will be taken out to be distributed to our graduates. Graduates, pay attention now for one last lesson. Because it gets confusing. There's a lot of stuff going to go on between now and the next 10 minutes. Here's how it happens. After your name is read out, you'll go to center stage and you'll meet the president and the chancellor. You'll have your picture taken there, so smile pretty. Then you will continue across the stage. You'll meet your dean and receive your parchment. So far, so good. But then, before you sit down, before you take your seat again, we invite you to take part in a scholarly tradition which is unique to VIU. As you pass the ceremonial bent corner box here, I will invite you to touch the inside of the lid. And in this way, you will symbolically leave your imprint on your university, and it will stay there for generations to come. No one other than VIU graduates is permitted to touch the inside of the lid. I've never touched it. You have to be special in this way. So, since the Convocation Suite was gifted to the university in 2015, over 5,600 graduates have left their imprint on their university in this way, and we hope you will consider doing it as well. I now invite our Acting Dean of the Faculty of Management, Brian Weber, to join me in presenting parchments to today's graduates. And those receiving a master's degree will also receive a graduate pin from Associate Dean of Graduate Programs, Stacy Chappell. And for those of you in the audience, all you fine people, you may have been at other university graduations, I don't know, and you may have heard this. Please hold your applause until all graduates have been introduced. So if you've heard that, you weren't here, because we don't like that. We want you to applaud. If you're happy, let's show it. Share your joy with everyone. So feel free to applaud when your graduate crosses the stage. And without further ado, let's get on with things.
Ashish Fernandez. Snehal Gaikwad. Sahil Gaswala. Sonal Francis Makwan. Sandeep Mahey. Ashwin Natarajan. Bhavishai Singh 4. Kanchan Saro.
That's it? So it says here, let's have one more round of applause for all of today's graduates. One more. Okay, enough about them. Honestly, when do people get so tall?
Well, I know it's been a happy day for all of us, and that all of you are happy to see your friends and family and supporters in the audience. And I know you'll agree without them you wouldn't be here. So I invite all of you just to stand, and all the stage party, just give a big round of applause for everybody who made it possible, who made it here today. Thank you so much, friends, family, supporters. We appreciate you so much. Some of you have traveled a long, long way to be here, and it's just been such a pleasure to look out and see you here, and I'm just glad that you're here. So thank you very much for joining us, and I hope to see you all at the reception, which will be held just next door at Vancouver Island Conference Center. Well, it's time for our elders to lead us out of the theater. We ask that you please remain in your seats until the procession has left the theater. And it's now my honor to declare this meeting of convocation officially closed.